Hello, this is Mary from Casing the Cover, and as library brats, my co-host Jen and I happen across numerous crappy covers, atrocious authors, sad titles, and the occasional masterpiece. We spend an unhealthy amount of time decoding how cover designs can be humorously contrary to the story within, and how publishers lure unsuspecting readers. Should you judge a book by the cover? Join Mary and Jen on the case to find out.
Welcome to another episode of Casing the Cover.
Oh no, Jen's starting again.
Jen's running on fumes, but it's exciting. But Mary's running the show today.
Yes, I am, because Jen's tired and I have a lot to say.
You have a lot to say. You have a lot of words for somebody who's written a lot of words.
Mm-hmm. So today we're talking about James Patterson, inevitably. We've been promising this for a while.
Yeah.
And it kind of got to the point where kind of have to. He's like the most prolific writer pretty much ever.
He is. He's in the Guinness Book of Records.
It says that in his description.
Oh my god.
We'll read that in a minute.
Oh my goodness.
So we thought we'd talk a little bit about Patterson and kind of his covers in general. And then our next episode will be my Patterson review because I read one of these books.
Oh.
So,
Which genre did you read in? Because he's in every genre.
I know, but most of his books just end up in fiction. They just get shoved in fiction. I found like 3 in mystery. He does write a bunch of, which I also have some of those in here as well.
Oh,
so,
no.
before we get too in-depth here, I want to play a little game with Jen.
Oh, no.
I want to play, well, here,
I'm closing my eyes.
Close your eyes for a minute while I unload my basket of
She's
books.
got a basket of Patterson.
I went to the Patterson section of the library, which, by the way, is half the library.
Oh my gosh,
And I pulled some of his books out, and I tried to pull like one from each of his major series. So I've got one from the Alex Cross novels, and I've got one from the NYPD novels, I think, which are a big one, and one where he just puts numbers on them. I don't know what that series is called. And I even have one of his teen novels. I got Maximum Ride. I got one of those.
Oh my god.
And this is one of those random letter ones. And then I also got, so I've got Alex Cross, a private novel. Maybe I didn't get one of the NYPD ones. But, okay. Jen, open your eyes and I want you to tell me
Oh my god.
what you see. What do you see that's in common
Oh my gosh, there's all the silhouettes.
on all these covers?
There's all the silhouettes, and they're all running away. They're all trying to get away from Patterson.
This is 9 different covers from across his career, from across his series, from across his age groups. I've got a teen in here too. All look the same.
This is awful.
This is why I've been wanting to talk about Patterson and Patterson covers, because
What is happening here? What is actually happening here? And you know, I just want to go back to the point you made about how he's like half the library. We played a library game like last year, a couple years ago, where we had the Page Olympics, the Library Page Olympics, and we went to the Patterson section blindfolded to try to figure out if we could put the book back where it belonged. That's how prolific these are. Oh my god, there's so many books, and they're all the same. They almost all have the same font.
they all look almost exactly the same. And here's something so I'm going to break these down a little bit.
Okay.
I want to talk first about what they have in common, because again, this man, he writes a good, like how many on average do you think he writes a year? At least 5, right? Okay.
That
he publishes at least 5 novels a year.
Yes.
Correct?
Let's talk about publishing.
Publishes at least 5 a year.
Yes.
And these are kind of from, like I said, from everywhere. This is the Women's Murder Club is the one with the numbers on it. This is most private novels. This is, I think these ones are standalones. These 4-ish here. So I've got Woman of God, Miracle at St. Andrews, Liar Liar, Maximum Ride Forever, Bullseye, The 18th Abduction, The Store, Count to 10, and Cross the Line. Cross the Line is an Alex Cross novel.
Yeah, but look, we've got Detective Michael Bennett.
So Bullseye's Detective Michael Bennett.
Harriet Blue.
Yep. And like I said, the 18 is a Women's Murder Club, Maximum Ride novel. Count to 10 is a private novel. I think Woman of God the store and Miracle at St. Andrews are standalones.
Did he rip off Da Vinci Code with this Woman of God one?
I have no idea.
This is like, the world is watching as massive crowds gather in Rome, waiting for news of a new pope. What? Faith has never come easy for Bridget Fitzgerald from her difficult childhood, drug-addled parents, and her career as a doctor healing wounded in Sudan. Yeah, spanning the globe.
So, every single one of these covers has a character on it.
Yes.
And not a single one of them has a face.
No.
They're all in silhouette, and of the 9 of them, at least 7 are facing away from the reader.
Wait, are any of them facing the reader?
So this one, maybe. This
No,
guy's... No, you don't think so?
swing.
Golf swing is facing away.
Golf swing.
This could be a dead-on shot, but it's in shadow, so you can't really tell. The maximum ride looks like maybe this person is looking at you?
No.
No, you think she's also looking away?
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to look at Patterson.
So 9 covers across Patterson's career, across his series. All of them have people on them who are looking away from you, do not have a face, or in complete silhouette. That's the first thing I want acknowledged. The backgrounds of these images are a little different. Some of them are people running up steps. There's like 3 like that.
Or they're the same stock clouds.
A lot of them have stock clouds on them. Like, at least 4 of these have clouds on them. Or they're running in something, up a flight of stairs, in a tunnel. There's 2 of them who are running in open fields. This guy's on a golf green. He's the most different of all of them, this Miracle at St. Andrews.
Yeah, because he's just sort of hanging out. They're not running. He's not running. He's the only one not running.
No,
oh, no,
he's playing golf. She's also standing. Running. She looks like she's texting.
She looks like she's texting.
She does, and her arms are like in front of her. She looks like she's texting. That's a texting stance. Another thing I would like to point out of all of these is that the majority of the cover art is either the name James Patterson or the title of the book. Every single one of these. Okay. Except maybe Miracle at St. Andrews. That's the only one where, like, the image on it is not completely overlaid with text.
Okay, yeah. But James Patterson, his name is really big.
It's really big on all of them. The ones that it's a little smaller on are the Woman of God and the Miracle at St. Andrews. And they're also in a slightly different font. They're in a prettier font. Maybe because these are books that are aimed more towards women. You'll also notice that 7 of the 9 have a co-author.
Only 7?
7 of 9. So Maximum Ride is only credited to him, as is the cross novel.
All right, I'm going to look inside these and see if anybody else is mentioned while you talk about that, because I totally think that he is not the one writing any of these. But that's just me, because I'm really, really... I don't trust him.
Well, okay, so we did a little tiny bit of research before we started talking. He's how old? 72?
72, because he was born in 1947.
He's 72. So at 72 years old, how much are you actually writing to be able to publish 5 books a year?
Oh, God, yeah. He's like, that's all he's doing.
Well, or he's not, or it's, hey, I have an idea. Hey, Michael Ledwidge, can you write it for me? Hey, Maxine Petro, can you write it for me? Hey, Candace Fox, can you write it for me? And then both their names get slapped on the cover.
Yeah, but whose name is bigger?
Well, it's Patterson, because his is the name that sells. That's what I'm saying, is all these books are being sold on, they look like a Patterson book, and his name is on them. And that's all you need to know.
And maybe we'll go into this in the episode where you actually talk about the book that you read by Patterson. But I
have some theories about that book.
How good. And when we get to that one, I have a side piece that I want to show you about that one. I think I showed you already.
I think you did.
It was really funny.
But so this is what, like, as a whole, I feel like the aim of Patterson covers, and again, this is not necessarily a Patterson issue. This is probably his publisher, which I don't know.
Is him.
Who is his publisher?
Him.
He publishes his own books?
Books. He's got his own publishing thing. Where is it? No, well, okay, Little Brown and Company, Hatchet Book Club, but where is it? It's said in here, like, scanning and distribution
this is Little
Brown.
This is Little Brown.
So Little Brown, but still,
Little
like,
Brown.
It's something book group, like JP something book group.
Grand Central Publishing. That's an older book.
Where is it? Yeah, this is crazy.
Little Brown.
Yeah, maybe it is like, I don't know.
I read somewhere that he has a teen publishing company. It might not be his main novels.
Yeah, okay, so these all say Little Brown. So,
yeah.
Oh, here we go. Trademark of JBP Business. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like...
But who makes the call on the cover? Is it Little Brown or is it Patterson?
You know, I feel like he's big enough. He probably makes a lot of calls on
And you
it.
think that his call is, just make it look like all the other ones? Okay, I will say they don't all look exactly like this. There are plenty of Patterson novels that look slightly different.
Yes.
The ones with the letters, the Women's Murder Club, there's a few where you see people's faces, or you see like there's one with a cat.
So I will
Zoo has a lion face on it.
Yeah, and I will say, like, there is something. Okay, Patterson also comes from a marketing background. He quit his marketing job, her advertising job, to go into writing. So I think while he probably gives a lot of, like, go ahead, do this to his publishers, there's still, he's like, this is the font we're using, this is our brand.
Say there is definitely a business element to making them all look the same.
Yes.
Because if you are someone who knows you like Patterson, but you're a casual fan and maybe you only read one of his series, or you read the new one whenever it comes out, and or you read one Patterson book and you liked it enough, you'll go find another one. If they all look similar enough that you can identify a Patterson book like that, you see his name on it super clearly, the font's always the same, the imagery is nearly identical.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you'll notice on like his series, the shared element of his series is always really big. So on the Cross novel, so this one is Across the Line, no matter what the title is, it has Cross in it, and Cross is always larger than the rest of the title.
Yes. It also makes them really hard to shelve.
Yeah. The NYPD ones are the same way.
Yes.
The NYPD is always bigger than whatever the other part of the title is.
And the spines are very, like, when you put them up on the shelf, if you look at just the spines, which is what people see, there's a lot of similarity.
Well, the first thing you see on every single one is the name.
Yeah.
The name goes first on the spine and then the title.
Yeah. This is the only one where it's like
that's because that's the team. That one's a little different. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, that's all you can see on this one. There's not even a
well,
title.
it's because too when we add at the
liar.
library we add stuff to the spines of books. We add spine labels so that you can see who the author is.
Right, but still, that is the spine.
Well, yeah. Here, the title's down here. The title's behind the spine label. The thing is,
tiny.
that's also a work of genius in your mind, because you're Patterson. You know your books are going to end up on library shelves. You know libraries put spine labels on books. You put your name first. That's all people care about. This is a Patterson novel. I'll read it. It is a very calculated move on the publisher or on Patterson or whatever.
I think it's
how similarly these books all look.
I totally think it's him, because if he comes from a marketing background, and you can tell, like, he is not about writing books. He is about producing books. And there's a lot of times I've questioned his motives on things. It's like, if you want to get the money for putting these books out, create like a Bible of what your characters and your world is. And just hire people.
He probably is doing that. He's probably doing that. What we can say for Patterson, something that we can give Patterson a little bit of credit for, is at least if he is doing that, the people he's doing it with are getting some sort of credit.
There's a lot.
Do I doubt that Maxine Pietro wrote more of this book than Patterson? Hell no. She wrote this whole book.
Yeah.
But at least her name's on the cover.
Yes.
Not every ghostwriter gets that.
And not every writer for Patterson gets
the
that.
only book that I doubt the honesty of is the one that's written by him and Bill Clinton. Neither one of them wrote that book.
Oh yeah, I love to see that book go up, because I'm like, oh look, two
Actually,
authors.
I think that book might have a third author on it.
Does it really?
It might. I didn't grab it, but I think it might. I'll look it up. Because there's no way Bill Clinton wrote that book.
The thing is too, with ghostwriting, we've kind of talked about this before.
This is time for a ghostwriting rant, Jen, so have at it.
Okay.
This is the author to talk about it for.
Alright, so here, it's not really a rant either. It's more like, okay, if you get into ghostwriting, you know you're in it for the paycheck. You're not in it for notoriety. You're in it to pay your bills and write some quality stuff for a client. That said, the rumors, and I will air quote rumors, about Patterson and his ghost writers is that he doesn't pay very well for the amount of money that he
That's
makes.
why your name's on the cover.
But still, like, you put your name on the cover, that's still not giving you a whole lot of credit to me.
No, but it's kind of that thing with like influencers. I don't know how versed you are in influencer culture.
Not that
at all.
much.
Is it going over your head?
Not entirely.
So there's a thing with influencer culture where these people, they're usually young adults, often barely out of school, like, 18, 19, 20. Half of them haven't finished school. They become influencers on Instagram or YouTube or one of these places because they're pretty and whatever. And they will end up going out because they're influencers and because people pay them to use their product.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to, a cappuccino shop or they'll go to a t-shirt company and go, well, I want this thing discounted. I want this thing cheap. I want this thing free. I'll wear it on my blog. I'll wear it on my Instagram feed so that you get the notoriety of having had your thing on my body. And I wonder if that's part of this. It's, I'm paying you like crap, but your name needs to go on a Patterson novel. And this will end up in somebody's hand because he is the most prolific and best-selling author in the world.
He is. Guinness Book of Records.
So the fact, like, I can see why some of these ghostwriters would take that for a cheap paycheck.
Yeah, I think my concern with it, though, as well, is what are they conscripted to do?
Yeah.
Like, how many books do they have to write before they get their name on a title? How many books do they have to write, period, before they're out of their contract?
That's true.
And how much money do they not make in the process?
And how much of the press and stuff is, because their name's on the book, but do they get any of the press? Do they get any of that?
Right. Also, like, how long before you're allowed to publish a book with exclusively your name on it?
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that he could be doing. He's like, gosh, you're a really good author. I really don't want you as competition.
Tied to me, yep.
Yeah, you're tied to me now. You can't produce anything with your own name on it for a while. I just,
Should we read the little blurb that's in the back of these books?
Sure, go
The
ahead.
Patterson blurb. So this is how James Patterson is described in at least his modern novels. I think Women of God is like 2-3 years old.
Well, it should say in there.
This is fairly recent. The thing is, so many of these books come through that I lose track of when we got what.
2016.
2016. So
Yeah, so this is
4
only
years old.
3 years old, 4 years old.
Which of these is newest? Because The Chef is from this past year, but I don't have a copy of that sitting here because they're all checked out. 2019. Okay, so this one, Peter DeJong and James Patterson. This is Miracle at St. Andrews. He does have a blurb in here too. Peter DeJong.
Yeah, but he doesn't get his own picture.
No.
Patterson gets his picture, and I want to see him.
And half of them have him on the back of the book too.
Oh yeah, he's kind of creepy looking.
A lot of these have Patterson on the back of the book.
Like, I get that he's like an aged human, but like, yikes.
James Patterson received the Literarian Award for outstanding service to the American literacy community from the National Book Foundation. He holds the Guinness World Record for the most #1 New York Times bestsellers, and his books have sold more than 385 million copies worldwide. A tireless champion of the power of books and reading, Patterson created a children's book imprint, Jimmy. Patterson, whose mission is simple: we want every kid who finishes a Jimmy book to say, please give me another book. That's his blurb.
Well, yeah, of course he wants that because then he wants him to buy another one.
So what this blurb says is, I sell all the books. Also, did you know I have children's books?
Yeah.
Which I'm going to use it to segue. Because I also have a couple of his other books here. Did you take Maximum Ride? You do.
I do have Maximum Ride, which is a teen book.
So Patterson also, in addition to having this really cool branding, not cool, very smart branding where he has the same picture on every single book, also has a book in every single section of the library.
And
he
look
has
at
a
the
teen
way
series.
he is playing that.
He has a teen series. He actually has a couple. He has Daniel X. He has Maximum Ride. There's another one. I can't remember the name of it. He has a kids series, which I think crosses over into teen because iFunny is a middle school series.
But there's more than iFunny.
There's
There's
another
the
one
Treasure
there, too.
Hunters.
There's a couple there.
There's something else, middle school. Also Dog and Cat.
I think he also has a picture book, doesn't he?
He has a picture book. He has board books.
Oh, good lord.
Also, his picture book was done with like Bill O'Reilly or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
really.
God. Don't even want to get into that. But
So Bill Clinton and Bill O'Reilly.
I should-
Whatever pays the bills.
I should have grabbed for some poor ghostwriter.
Right?
I don't know. Do you have to ghostwrite a picture book? He could probably figure that out himself.
Yeah, but who's got time for that when you're making this much money?
I guess not. What I wanted
His
to...
wife probably writes the picture books.
She should.
She probably
And
does.
he's not going to put his wife's name on a book?
I don't know, but she does write. I think
She probably has her name on something.
Yeah, she's got her name on something.
Didn't he write one with his kid, too?
I don't know.
Or is that a different author I'm thinking of?
That might be a different author. But
Which one am I thinking of?
literally everywhere.
Preston. No, not Preston.
Lee Child.
Lee Child.
Also, Preston does write with his offspring.
No, Woods. Was it Woods that wrote with his kid? I don't know. We'll talk about them later.
I don't know. Cussler writes with other people too, and
Yeah.
it's just so many.
They all
things.
kind of team up. It's like the Avengers of authors. It's weird.
Don't do that. No,
Don't
we're
do
not.
that.
We're not making Patterson an Avenger.
Well, Patterson would obviously be Tony Stark because he's the asshole of all the That's a given.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you hear. James Patterson
It's
is
true.
the Tony Stark
It's
of
true.
book publishing.
Okay, what author has actual? Give me an author that has actual integrity and writes good books and is also successful and isn't a sellout. Because that would be Captain America.
Isn't a sellout, writes good books, and
But is popular.
super prolific.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but I really think that Danielle Steele gets a bad rap. But I think she writes good, decent
Sure.
books.
Give it to Danielle. Still can be Captain America if she really wants to.
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
why not?
Why
With her
not?
portrait behind her.
And who writes really stupid books? Because that'd be 4. Stupid and Pretty. Who writes stupid pretty books? Wow, we've gone on a tangent.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Fern Michaels.
There you go. Perfect.
Places we didn't think we'd go to.
Perfect.
Does that make Stuart Woods the Hulk?
Sure.
Because he millions of books, but clearly just bangs those suckers
Uh-huh.
out.
Sure, he can be the Hulk. Yeah, I'm telling you. Literary Avengers.
Oh my god.
And that one, then J.K. Rowling will have to be one of those really obscure British superheroes that no one really likes that much. And you only hear about sometimes.
Part of Black Widow's team kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, one of those.
I can follow references. I'm doing good today.
She can be Captain Britain.
Captain Britain.
There is one. This is the extent of my superhero knowledge. I hope you're appreciating it. Maybe she's Doctor Strange.
Because magic.
Wow, this is a tangent. Crazy bad tangent.
So when this episode comes out, we want to hear in the comments
Yes.
who would be and they have to be current people.
Yes.
Current
Literary Avengers.
literary Avengers.
Prolific Avengers. It can't be I guess they could be weird little. If you pick a weird little known author, you also have to pick a weird little known superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the Ant-Man?
Some weird little known author. I don't know. Someone who only writes novellas.
Well, he does novellas too. Patterson does novellas.
He does. He's got a lot.
There's a crap ton of novellas out there.
Okay, hold on. Before we finish this discussion, where do you put George R.R. Martin? He's a superhero that never finishes the job.
Never finishes the job. Or comes in at the last. Oh, George R. R. Martin is Loki.
Accurate. He's only a good guy sometimes. You don't really know what his motives are. He's just out to screw with everybody's emotions. I like it. They're doppelgangers with my Comic-Con everywhere.
Yeah. See?
Oh my god, he is Loki.
You heard it here.
Okay, someday when we're famous and we have Patreons, we'll have a spin-off podcast called Literary Avengers. It'll just be us doing this every week. So, the other thing I wanted to point out that seems to be a thing with Patterson is in these other little venues he's in of other kinds of books, he's very much like he is following the trend.
Yes.
Because the teen books either look like other Patterson books or they look like your Hunger Gamesy, adventure-y teen books.
Well, okay, so iFunny looks a lot like Captain Underpants,
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dork Diaries.
Yes.
That same kind of cartoonish look to it.
Wait, I'm going to open this one up while you're talking about the other one.
Does it have pictures in it?
It does. It's tons of pictures.
Which is why it doesn't belong in teen.
Yeah.
He also then has his teen series. The two major ones also have graphic novel series that go with them. So both Daniel X and Maximum Ride have graphic series, and they're both anime. Like, the style is totally anime. Because he went, what do teenagers like?
They read the mangas.
Yup.
So, yes.
Yep.
And is this the fiction or the manga? Because
this is the manga. This is the manga.
Oh, wow.
So this is the graphic of it. The actual fiction series of this, the Daniel X, looks like Percy Jackson.
Oh, how funny.
It's got, like, a superhero, hero guy on the front, or Harry Potter, or one of those. It's got the main protagonist. It's very much like, it goes with all these other ones. It's probably more fantasy. I actually think that the Maximum Ride and the Daniel X are both kind of sci-fi fantasy. They're more, they're not anything like the other crappy rides, which is all for old white people.
But the thing that gets me, though, these kind of tick me off when it comes to, like, shelving these books, because they look...
You never know where to put them.
Like something that should be over in
this is kind of superhero-y.
Oh my gosh, it's so weird. It looks like he just went and found artists that could do this style. Oh my gosh.
Which also means even the trends of the stories are very much like, what are teens into? Superheroes and sci-fi. Because that is one of the major genres in teen is sci-fi.
Yeah.
The other one is, sad cancer books. And then
sad cancer.
The iFunny kids are really into the comedic kids books right now. That's super what's in with the kids books. It's not, Boxcar Children and that kind of stuff. It's these stupid growing up stories.
Well, it's that, and also the almost historical adventure.
They like those
kind of thing.
Which, does he have one of those right now?
I don't know.
Probably not yet. Maybe eventually.
I'm sure it's out there. We just haven't seen it yet.
But it says Jimmy
Everyone.
Patterson on the corner of it.
Oh, you know what? That Treasure Hunters one is probably time travel.
Oh,
I bet you that's a time
kind of
travel
historically, because that's the other big thing. I don't know why those I Survived are really huge. The Who Was books. What world are we living in that's selling the most popular freaking books on the shelf are biographies about dead people for children?
Because they are drawn interesting. Like, the covers are interesting.
The covers are interesting. The insides are crap.
They are. The information's not that great.
Well, and the art on the inside is also bad.
Yeah, it's like they spent all their money on the cover art and then they gave up at that.
That should be an episode.
That's an episode, yes. All right. So, basically what we're saying, though, is Patterson never really left his marketing career behind.
No.
He's stuck with it, and he just happens to write books as well.
And I think of all of the authors we've kind of talked about so far, his are the most obviously calculated in terms of what goes on a Patterson cover. We want to be easily recognizable, but we also don't want our lead character to have any distinguishable features, because then you can't imagine yourself in their role.
Right, exactly. And I know you're probably going to talk about this when you talk about the actual Patterson book, but he's formulaic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, from every genre, from the teen to the children's to the adult books, everything he writes.
That's how you write
by formula. Books. Yeah, you create the formula and you crank it out. And
well, the majority of his series are detective novels.
Yeah,
that's the formula. It's that cut and paste.
The CSI of novels.
So I believe Alex Cross is a lawyer, which is the detective's cousin.
Is the Alex Cross book? No, that's Grisham. Grisham has a series out that is also the child of the lawyer from the Grisham novels.
Oh, good Lord. Or
the nephew or something. So he's pulling the same thing.
Yeah.
Grisham caught up with Patterson and goes, "That's a good idea. I'm going to do that." It's so interesting to see how many books. You say 5 books a year. I will say it's more than that.
How many Patterson books? Oh, by the way, Bill Clinton and Patterson are the only two that are credited on that book.
Yeah.
So if there's a ghostwriter, they're not getting their name on it.
Hopefully they got paid well, though, because, man, they got to know that these books are just going to fly no matter if they're awful or not. And that's the thing that gets me, too. When authors get to the point where they're this prolific, how much do they get away with? We talked about this before with that there's romance novels, the romance novel that I read, and it was written so poorly, but because she was a bestseller.
I wonder if, I think you maybe can combat a little bit of that by having other authors write your books for you or write parts of them. Because if you as a publisher or as an author are publishing 5 books a year, if you're actually writing all of those books, yeah, you're going to be getting through them fast.
Yeah.
If other people are contributing to them, not only do you have someone else who isn't writing 5 books a year contributing, but also each of your books is going to feel a little different because you've got that other outside author voice, even if they're trying to sound like you.
Yeah, and I will say from a ghostwriting perspective, the goal is to sound like the person that you're writing for. It is almost like character acting. You're trying to be this person, and it's not always easy, but if you're paying attention, and I suppose if you've read a million Patterson books on your own, you got enough source material
you got a lot of research.
Yeah. And I wonder too, like if there are people that do the research, and then there are people who do the outlines. Is this are we talking like Patterson comes up with the outlines and hands it over to a ghostwriter, or are we talking like there's a community of people who write each one of these books? So you've got the guy that does the character Bible who makes sure all the stuff is right, the person who does the outlining, then the person who actually writes the content of it, then there's the person who checks and makes sure all the locations are correct, fleshes out dialogue.
It kind of makes you wonder to a degree. I know they've attempted to make a few Patterson movies. I know they did Zoo with like a mini series. Mm-hmm. They did a couple Alex Cross movies, but like it makes you wonder with so much material, and you know this guy's prolific. Why hasn't HBO or one of these big companies gone, we're going to do a Patterson series where all they get, and it could be an original one. It could be from the mind of James Patterson. You can't read this.
Maybe again it has to do with Patterson keeping his hands on things. Well, maybe it's not so much that he doesn't like TV, but he doesn't know how he can mitigate the cost on that. Like, how do I get my cut of that pie? That seems to be like his kind of goal in life, is to make sure he has that cut of the pie. I just can't even imagine that he's doing anything besides just writing paychecks at this point. You know, like...
Well, no, he's got someone to do that for him, too.
Now you're not giving me any credit.
Okay, I had to do math. I had to do actual math.
But you're doing it on your phone, so that's cheating.
Yeah, on my phone. So this is based on how long he's been publishing and how many books he's published.
Oh my gosh.
So an average of his career, over his career, of 3-point-some books a year. That's the average of all of his years.
Really? Only 3 books
But
a
that's
year?
an average over his entire career since 76.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta figure when you're a new author, you don't publish 5 books a year.
This is true.
So his first few years probably were less. I can't find a definitive number. I tried to look even up how many he published. Look at Goodreads. Give me another second.
I agree. Like, it's probably... I'm telling you, it's got to be at least 6 books a year.
I'm going to see how many he published last year.
Because
I don't think I can do math for his entire career here.
I remember for a while, we would open up a box of new books, and there he was again. Mm-hmm. Every month, it seemed like he had a new book out. And I swear, there were some months he had 2 books in a box.
Yeah, there were, definitely.
Like 2 brand new. Maybe one was a kid's and one was an adult, or one was a teen. But yeah, there were 2 a month, man. How do you produce 2 a month? Even if they are like, okay, a cheesy kid book with mostly pictures, or a board book. There's Patterson board books, man.
Why? So grandparents buy them for their grandkids?
Probably.
I can't find a list of the books that he published in last year because every time I look at the list, it wants to go, here's the Alex Cross novels he published. And he writes in every single series every single year.
This is crazy.
It's too hard to math. If I do the math between now and this episode goes out, I'll put it somewhere. I'll put it in the comments or something.
All right.
But
Patterson. You know, this was a lot more chill than I thought our Patterson episode would be. Like, I thought we were going to grind him pretty bad.
We'll do that.
I think we were pretty.
We'll do that when we actually talk about the book that he wrote.
Oh, okay. We got something.
This was just about his covers, which are all very cool and calculated, and so that's kind of I think what the conversation.
Yeah, and the Avengers of literature.
Yeah.
This is a thing now.
He has a robot that writes the books for him.
Oh my gosh.
Like Jarvis, but it's a writes books.
But it's Jimmy. Okay, I'm done now.
Okay, I think we're both done now. All right,
but what's the book you read?
So, we'll talk about this in the next episode.
Okay.
It's on episode because we're already at our time.
Oh, all right.
But I read The Chef and I have feelings about it.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll leave it on that and tune in. Our other episode this month will be the review of Patterson's The Chef.
Dun dun.
So listen for that one. It'll be out soon.
Oh my goodness.
In the meantime, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for cracking another case with Mary and Jen. To learn more about Casing the Cover, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Casing the Cover. To contact us or suggest a book, email casingthecoverpod@gmail.com. New episodes of Casing the Cover release the second and fourth Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.